I made a lot of mistakes in my life, and if I could go back and tell my 18-year-old self, there's a lot of things that I'd like to have changed. With that being said, we can't change the past, so I thought I'd take 10 tips that I put together on this sheet here to tell you if you're 18 years old or if you're just a younger person looking to move forward in life so that you can avoid making the same mistakes that I made. I'm not a 80-year-old, 90-year-old guy reflecting on his long life and sharing information. I'm 25. But over the last couple years, I've come to realize a few things, and I hope that you can use these things to live a happier and healthier life. There's not going to be any editing or fancy things happening in this video. Just want to share some lessons I learned and hope that genuinely you can use them. Tip number 1, there's no get-rich-quick scheme that actually works. Whether it's, Forex, trading stocks, hitting the lottery, trying to make it big, fast, multi-level marketing, these are all things that are going to backfire. And there's a different reason for each one. But in my case, I kept trying to get rich quick by gambling and trading stocks. And the thought was I only needed it to work once, right? I would figure it out because that one would cover all the losses and it would make up for everything. But I had wins along the way. They never made me feel rich or wealthy, but I always thought that they would. And I kept going back, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Wealth, I still haven't gotten it. Maybe you don't want to take the advice from me because of that. But I know what it's like to lose your money very rapidly. And that's exactly what happens when we try to solve all of our problems at once. Take my word for it or don't, but I've been through it. I spent 6 years chasing after the one big hit that would change my life, and day by day, I made it more difficult to reach the life that I wanted by chasing after it in the way that I thought would work. Getting rich is a slow process, and not everyone will get rich. Maybe I won't either. But I'd rather stay where I am than to dig myself a deeper hole trying to solve it all at the same time. Tip number 2, don't do something unless you understand why you are doing it. A lot of times, a figure of authority or someone we even love will tell us to do something and we'll do it, not really thinking about why, not really thinking about if it's what we want to do. In my case, when I was 18 years old, I went to college right away because that's what society told me to do. That's what everyone seemed to be proud of. There were, applause and congratulations for saying what school you got into and then going to it. And I ended up not liking it so much. But there was this pressure to continue what I had started. So I pushed it out for all 4 years. And now I have a degree in anthropology and I make YouTube videos. So I'm obviously not using the degree. I think that it's good to go to school or it's good to do something like the next step if you know truly why you want to do it and not just because someone told you to do it. If you want to go to college because you want to gather information or you want to become a specialist in something, you want to become a doctor or a lawyer and you know that, then by all means go and do it. But if you're just doing it because someone says that's the next logical step, you're going to wake up one day and you're going to say, I don't even want that. Why did I just put myself through it? So make sure you know why you are doing what you're doing. The third tip that I would have told myself is that if it's stressing you out, it should be done. That goes for relationships, that goes for habits, that goes for just patterns in your life. For me, I was in relationships where I'd fight with the person every day. I had friendships that I didn't feel like I actually wanted to have, but I kept it because I was scared of what might happen if I didn't keep it. And beyond that, I was gambling every day, stressed out every day, but I had become accustomed to it. It was what I thought I wanted out of life. If it's stressing you out, it is not worth it. Your peace is what is really worth it in life. Your peace is what gives you happiness. Not stressing out and trying to solve all your problems at one time or continuing to do something just because you think you're supposed to. The fourth tip, if it is broke, you don't always have to try to fix it. We have this idea when we're young that what's in front of us is all that we're ever going to have. Even we think like, man, I'll never find another friend group. I'll never find another relationship. I'll never find another job opportunity than this one right here. But there might be things about those relationships or opportunities that you're not enjoying that make them not for you. but you might feel like another one might never come around. Don't try to solve the situation. Be patient, which is so hard at that young age, and it's still hard now. But understand that what is meant to come is going to come to you. You don't have to try to take a situation that is imperfect and make it perfect. Your perfect situation will get there one day. I never thought I'd be sitting in front of a camera making YouTube videos, yet here I am. I was thinking that I'd end up being a lawyer, yet here I am. Your path will find you. The fifth tip is to take a deep breath before you make any important choice. I was very impulsive. I still am decently impulsive. But when I was 18, I was the most impulsive because I thought that no matter what happened, it would all work out for me. I thought I was invincible. I never stopped to think, is this decision going to yield anything positive? I just did it. So in any kind of decision, whether it's deciding where to go to school, what opportunities to pursue, or even should I go to the bar right now? Should I have this next drink? Should I make this next bet? Take a breath. Think about why you're about to make the decision you're about to make. And even if you make the wrong decision, so be it. But giving it thought, that would have made a huge difference in my life. And I hope that it can make a difference in yours. Because taking that deep breath really helps you to put your priorities into order, gain perspective. Tip number 6 is don't define yourself by numbers. When I was in high school, I defined myself based on GPA, class rank, the number of awards that I won, the number of times I did something, the number of teams I was on, the number of clubs I was in. Then in college, I defined myself based on money as I was gambling. How much money do I have? How much did I win today? Then after college and into recovery, I defined myself as how many days has it been since I made my last bet? And no matter what form that took, when you try to make yourself a statistic, make yourself a number, you are really getting tunnel vision. You're focusing on the wrong things. There's nothing wrong with collecting accolades. There's nothing wrong with trying to grow in specific areas of your life and get better at something. But don't define your self-worth with those numbers. Let those numbers be a guide of how you're progressing in life, but they're not the full progression. They don't represent the emotional growth. They don't represent how you're doing on a day-to-day basis, your relationships with others. Some things can't be defined by the numbers. Tip number 7, if you don't know something, learn it. Don't try to fake it. I was a bullshit artist for so long. And my girlfriend will even tell you that today, sometimes my immediate reaction when I don't know something is to make it sound convincing and say it in a convincing tone, even though I'm full of crap and I don't know what I'm actually talking about. So I think that rather than having this big ego that keeps inflating every time we tell a lie, we can say, hey, all right, I'm not an idiot. I just don't know what this is. I don't know about this topic. Let me go and learn it so that the next time something happens, then we're ready. We know what to say the next time. Get out there and learn. You don't have to know everything. If you're expecting everyone around you to think that you know everything, they wouldn't even really like to be around a person like that. It's okay to not know. What's not okay is to lie about it. Don't go down that path. The 8th tip, take notes. And if you don't enjoy taking notes, then you're in the wrong place. I just went to a conference on gambling addiction, and I took notes on every single speaker, and the time flew by. But I can remember when I was in school and I would take notes in a history class or a French class, and I'd hate it. I hated the idea of taking notes in these classes because I wasn't interested in what we were learning. But once I found something I cared about, the notes kind of showed me that, hey, I'm engaged, I'm involved, I actually like what we're talking about. So go and take notes, and if you're hating it, then you know that you're in the wrong place and you need to make a change. That's one way to measure it. Tip number 9 is to not try to guess where you're going to be in the future. There's nothing wrong with planning for a good future, but to try to narrow your life down to the exact job, city, relationship, friendships that you'll have when a year goes by or even a couple of months goes by is ridiculous. We don't have a crystal ball. We can't predict the future. So make decisions that you know will yield a healthier future, like going to the gym, eating well, not doing things like gambling if you're addicted to it like I was, right? But don't try to guess because it's not going to work out the way that you think. Again, going back to, I'm sitting in a basement right now making YouTube videos. I didn't even take pictures of myself or anything before I was making these. Like, I had nothing on my phone. My photos were basically empty. And now I record everything. So the idea that a year and a half ago you would tell me that I'd be a content creator would be ridiculous. I would say, yeah, right, content creation is stupid, and I would never get involved with something like that. But here I am. We don't know what's going to happen in the future, but we can prepare ourselves without boxing ourselves in. So prepare yourself, but don't think, where am I going to be in a year? I have to be there. Where am I going to be in the year? I might be there, is a healthier way to look at it. The 10th and final tip is that your location or your vocation won't make you a happier person if your problems are within yourself. I was miserable in college, and I thought, I can change this by switching majors. I can change this by moving and doing a semester abroad in Australia. But the problems were all going on in my own head, and I wasn't working on myself. I was denying that the problems were within me, and I was looking for something to blame. I needed to sit down and begin to work on myself. I had to see a therapist. I had to get into support groups. The problem was never what I was doing or where I was. The problem was the way I viewed myself. So if you think that you can run away from a problem or you can change your issues by going somewhere else, you're unfortunately going to be wrong. If you feel like you're experiencing problems, you need to look within yourself and you need to start having a dialogue. What can I do to stop feeling this way? Who can I talk to stop feeling this way? But it's not going to be to run away from the problem. You don't have to run. You don't have to hide. You're fully capable of handling any challenge that comes your way. You just have to believe that. And you have to slowly build up that belief by just being consistent and consistently being kind to yourself. So to anyone watching this, these 10 tips are what I would have told my 18-year-old self if I was able to go back in time and talk. Of course we can't, and that's okay. So I hope that if you're watching this, you've been able to take some value from what I've said. I don't have decades of wisdom built up, but in a short span of working on myself, I was able to realize these things. Imagine what you'll be able to realize about yourself if you do the same. Thank you so much for watching this, and let's keep getting better together, one day at a time.